Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Auburn Planning Board meeting of Tuesday, February 11th, 2020. Now called to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast live by local access programming. Is there anyone here in the audience tonight that's recording this town meeting? No. There being none, please rise and join us in the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to remind the audience, applicants, town administration, each of the planning board members to please refrain from asking questions in regards to all matters discussed this evening without first being granted my consent. The first item on our agenda this evening is an A&R plan for the Auburn Mall, 385 Southbridge Street. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
We don't need to, it's not a public hearing, we don't need to. Okay.
I'm surprised.
Throw it out if you'd like to speak on this or not. Yeah, we're looking to carve off Reliant at its individual parcel from the rest of the mall.
Right, so this was pursuant to the recent bylaw change where in the regional mall overlay district we created the ability to create these parcels that it wouldn't have side yard setbacks and could be created for this, essentially for this purpose. So this is the Reliant building. There would be a lot created out to the curb lines, and then it would be, a separate parcel, which speaking with the assessor, she's pretty happy because it's to send life safety folks to a certain address now would be a lot easier. This will get its own address and will be separate address from the mall. This will be.
How will they do that?
How will they do that?
What street will it be on?
Brotherton Way.
So does somebody else still own the building?
It's not being sold right now, or otherwise transferred right now. This would create the ability to finance it or transfer it at any point. The whole mall parcel will eventually be the subject of a reciprocal easement agreement once there's another party involved, that ever comes to be. So that way the Reliant folks would have access over and across and access to parking as needed, and they'd just be paying on a proportionate basis, and that would be the subject of that reciprocal easement agreement, which would be recorded.
So can you show us on here, Todd, where's the frontage? Where are the lot lines? Just this lot sitting right
It
here?
goes right around the building, right?
Let's see.
Right here.
Right here. This is your lot line.
All right, so how does it get frontage here?
The owner has contiguous, the owner owns the entirety of the parcel.
Right. It's going to be, access will be the subject to the reciprocal easement agreement.
Reciprocal easement agreement with him, the owner and this people?
Right. So right now, it doesn't matter, it's all one owner. If it ever changed hands, it would be subject to that easement. It's quirky, there's no question. The idea was that when the mall looked at this property, they said, Reliance put a lot of money into this space, their space, and it's a different type of facility than the rest of the mall. So this is a piece that is more easily financeable under conventional terms and separate. There are certain investment groups that would finance something like this versus the rest of the mall, and that was a pretty big pusher in this case.
I can see them doing that all the way along the mall.
Well, yeah, I mean, things are changing, right? So you're gonna have to keep rolling with the things that are happening with Sears and the like. So
I'd want somebody that was an engineer to advise me on this before I would make a decision as to what we're doing, and somebody that was better versed in the law than I am. Because up front, I don't like it. This doesn't sound right or good.
This
Is
is
this
what
A&R?
this is what we voted on about a month and a half ago to be able to do this.
To allow such things.
To allow the school to go in down here, for a line to stay down there,
Right.
and be separate parcels.
It was approved at town meeting in October and
Yep.
approved by the Attorney General 2 weeks ago. To have the zero
This
lot
is-
lines.
This separation's already been before us. Because that was for when Sears was
remember
leaving.
that. I don't
They wanted
remember
to put a
that.
vocational school here.
So this is A&R,
Separate
and
from the
otherwise
wall.
comports to,
It's an A&R, comports all zoning bylaws, so it's just,
with no variances needed, with no...
No.
That was the whole reason for the bylaw change, was to create a situation where we didn't have to go get variances, to create some level of certainty, and to create, create a system that made sense, that we could
How do you get-
potentially duplicate.
How do you get a setback from a parking lot? I mean, you know?
Well, I mean, the mall itself is the bigger thing, right? So
Correct.
if you were gonna take, if something were gonna happen at Sears, you're gonna kind of carve off that piece, how are you gonna do that? They share common walls.
It's like an old row house system, like a condo.
Right, and
Could be business condos.
the problem is, you could do this as a condominium, but those are just not assets that anybody wants. A mall or a retail strip as a commercial condominium, the audience for those things is, the small bucket of folks, whereas you do it as a separate legal parcel, where you can own the fee in the parcel, it creates a broader opportunity for.
yeah, I think that was why past town meeting was because it gives some flexibility to the mall that, you don't want the mall vacant.
Correct.
Right.
That also gives them all the flexibility to do dual purpose.
Right.
Residential upstairs, business downstairs.
Yeah.
Through the chair, Ron, being that this is A&R, this would be the same as if somebody were coming with in a residential area with just cutting off some of their land, and it complies well with zoning. Looks different, for sure.
Yeah, it's all different, but it's still just it's an A&R and it complies with the zoning bylaw. So,
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Or second?
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Adam and I would normally stay and take that, but I'm not able to be, I'll make it tomorrow morning early, so there's no something in the office coming in tomorrow, if that's okay.
that's fine. Thanks.
Thank you.
I just think I really must have missed something.
When I first saw it, it was like, and then I had to go back and see if they changed the...
Who's not coming in?
Sorry?
What?
Oh,
Duncan isn't coming?
No,
And
Impact is not coming and the subdivision is not coming. And Patrick Mazda asked to be postponed to next time. So,
when did they cancel these?
today.
I think we had a good idea on CGT that they were going to go into in the last meeting.
With the comments from engineering, I think they decided to try to tweak their plan.
Tweak it further.
From Bill and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you signed that.
Right, depends.
Remember, I thought you were gonna be nice.
I can ask the question. It's not wrong.
Did you sign the one Ron's holding?
No.
No.
Thank you.
All set.
Next.
Next up is an A&R plan for Central One Federal Credit Union, Shelford Street.
So this is Central One Credit. It's an A&R. They are just shifting around the lot lines a bit. If you look on the screen, you can see where they currently are. It's a little easier to see this way. So slant here, here, and all this. And they're just having a line here, a line here, and here. So it's just kind of going from 5 lots to, I believe, 3. A, B, and C.
Isn't it all gonna be Central One Federal Credit Union?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
the new project that was approved?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Why not one?
why not make it one lot?
I don't know why, but
Which?
With them, with all of them each having their frontage and everything?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
So I just wonder what the reason for that is.
Which lot has the new construction on it?
Big-
it's
big lot.
this, mainly this, I
Yeah.
think this one too.
So it's on both of them?
Yeah. And this is where the current bank is, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, there's a drive-through
this, that's
ATM
all
parcel.
clear. There's an ATM here, it looks like, so
Yeah.
that could be why.
Okay, so this one parcel is the whole new project?
Yep.
To right where you got, Scott's got his pen, or all the way
I think
down?
all
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
down,
all the way
yeah.
down to it.
So that's one lot
makes me feel
Yeah.
that they want, then that darker writing is 2,
Yep,
and then that's 3?
3,
And it used to be 5, right?
be 5. So I'm not sure why not all 1.
Well, I can understand it now, with the ATM where it is, and you have the building there, and you're gonna have the corporate building there.
So,
They could actually incorporate the bank into that building down the road if they wanted to, and sell that lot and sell the ATM.
yeah.
That's why they're separating it, just in case.
So
I would,
it's-
that's my guess.
It's, you're not creating any new lots, they're just merging lots. And they're already built out, or being built out.
Yeah, as long as the new project's one parcel.
That was my question.
Any questions, Steve?
Does the new part, does it have the right setbacks with the new building? That would be my question.
That's a good question.
The setbacks
Setbacks
would
are-
stay the same.
Yeah, they say the
Well,
same.
but so I mean, if,
This setback here.
On the new building?
yeah, if the new
Oh,
building's
that's
right
to be
here.
removed.
No, correct, that's what it's showing, but what I'm saying is, if the new building is placed here, you don't have the
10
required.
setback.
Because it's already up, or
Yeah.
the frame of it.
I think there's parking on that end.
Is it?
I think so. That's a good question.
Because all permits and everything would have been approved on the setback that was further, right? Because was it further back?
Actually, it would have been within the 5 lots,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, it would have been right here. So that's the current bank. That's, I'm sorry, this is the current bank down here, that's the, so they tore down. So they're just kind of merging it.
I wish they showed the old lines. It's kind of like right
well,
here.
this lot, line right here, the building changed.
It did, yeah. Just if you look at this jog, where just see where it jogs out. This
Over
goes
here?
back a bit further. Yeah. What is that? What is that distance? Where you just had your finger?
Right here?
Yeah. This is 75.
Can't read that.
Yeah, right here.
It does look further to me.
70. Yeah, 70 something,
Yeah.
76.
6 or 74.
And that's midway up the jog, whereas this goes past the jog. That run. So who's to say?
So if that's the case, right, without seeing the building on there, if that lot line is further this way, then you know they have the setback.
And we're
So they would
creating
have
an
the
issue.
setback on the old lot.
Could they show us the building with the setbacks with the new building, just to make sure that it conforms before we allow?
I can ask them to.
I think that would be a good idea.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, they could vote to ask for, send it back to the survey to plot the new building.
Take that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next one's continued, isn't
Yeah.
it? To the,
Motion to continue those
February
three.
25th.
The coffee shop is, they asked for a continuance, they were doing some of their plans.
Based on the comments by Bill and
I believe that,
Joanna.
I believe that's the intent, is to address those concerns.
So applicant CGT Incorporated requesting a special permit and site plan approval under 3.9.2.2 of the Auburn zoning bylaws for a drive-through coffee shop located at 711 Southbridge Street, Auburn, Mass., map 61, parcel 37, is requested a continuance to the next meeting, which is February 25th, I believe.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Same thing with impact? Same thing with impact?
Impact would like to be continued to, didn't write it down, the first March meeting, March 10th. They're still on conservation, they're planning to submit to conservation this week.
The second applicant, Impact Fitness, Andrew Lawton, requesting a modification of an existing site plan under section 9.4.1 of the zoning bylaws for the expansion of the parking area on property located at 314 Washington Street, Auburn, Mass., map 42, parcel 9, has requested a continuance to the March 10th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The next one continued too. right?
Yes, they're still waiting, I'm still waiting on the stormwater plan. They'd asked to be continued till March 10th also.
Our next applicant, SZLL Realty LLC, a definitive subdivision plan for a 13-lot, single-family home development on property located at 178 Hampton Street and 19 Eaton Ave, map 12, parcel 120, has requested a continuance to the March 10th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I've recused myself from that one.
Okay, thank you.
What about Patrick Moss?
Patrick Mazda, you don't have to continue it. They were looking to come for modification. Their engineer couldn't make it, so they just asked to postpone until the next meeting. So there's
Okay.
no action to take on that.
Okay. We have
Yep.
the Elks. Next up is site plan modification for the Elks.
You are. So they're looking to restripe their parking area and designating a spot in the back of the building right here as their kind of outdoor entertainment area. So this is just a modification of their site plan. They're gaining parking spots with this new configuration.
How many spaces are there altogether, Al?
150,
153.
153.
153. The largest shift there at 150.
They were at 147. This is.
Yeah.
So they gained 6. Even
Gained
though
6
they're
spots.
taking this area, they're actually,
Yeah, they take that striped area out.
yep. The only comment I had from anybody in administration was to recommend a guardrail or other barrier be placed around the outdoor entertainment area, just so cars aren't parking in that area or accidentally driving through that area. It would also be in their benefit if they're going to be serving alcohol in that area, not to have vehicles
Jersey
in that area.
barriers or a guardrail type
Guardrails,
setup, or
there's-
something that's similar to that.
Yeah, there's wooden guardrails that are MassDOT certified that would look nicer than the Jersey barriers, but something would be is recommended.
I think it looks good.
So this is-
My only question that I have for this, this is a temporary holding pen. We don't use it all the time, and you know, we wanted to put up. You know, we've been doing this for 38 years, and we haven't had an incident in 38 years. Proven track record tells you, I mean, I see people driving into stores all the time on TV and all that, and that's an unforeseen accident that you can't predict. We kind of keep all the cars out of that area, but we'd like the ability to break that down and use that for additional parking when we're not using it for an entertainment purpose.
So you'd stripe it and then use it for the parking when you want.
Right, and it would all be striped, but then it would be blocked off with like ropes that would look. Very similar to this type stanchion, and they'd be sitting on, they wouldn't be permanently put into the concrete, because what we are gonna do is we're gonna redo this entire driveway and then restripe it, and then, you know, put these up temporarily when we have a function, and then take them down that evening and store them, and then use that area for additional parking.
So you're gonna do the whole parking lot over.
We're gonna do the entire parking lot over. We're not getting any bigger than this. We're gonna do the whole thing over and not go any further into any we're just using the same exact footprint that we have now. And that was our intention, and we normally also park cars in the field on cruising night, and those all come down this side, so there is, we try to keep, the people out of harm's way, and we never had fencing before. We just put them right on the hard top and put tables and chairs out there, and in 30 years, I can say I've never had a problem. If what you're doing and you continue to do it and you don't have problems, I kind of think that Jersey barriers and, and permanent walls, I mean, well, it's a good idea. I'm not saying it isn't a good idea. I'm saying maybe in this particular, it doesn't work as well. Now, we'd have to take a good hard look if we want to lose those parking spaces and put those up, or, take a different look and, basically, that's where I lag.
first question that comes to my mind is, if you've been doing this for 38 years, why are you in front of us?
Because apparently I've been doing this illegally. Okay, and that's as honest as I can truly be, okay? All right,
Just being honest.
and, you know, the police have never been called. We've never had an incident where people got out of hand, and we've never had an incident where anybody has, you know, got hit by a car or anything. I'm not gonna say that can't happen, okay, but we try to protect the people as best as possible, keeping the speed limit down, coning off different areas as to the direction of where cars should flow. And, you know, that's,
Through the chair, I've personally been to plenty of events like the yard sale, the community yard sales they've had back there and other events, and they have always kept it very safe even when cars were out there. And they do have a good track record, so I could see with the Jersey barriers in this case, if it's not going to be permanently used as an outdoor space, you know,
Messy.
messy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I just want to say that I don't have any problem with him. I'd like, if he's going to do it all over, stripe it, and then if you want to use it, and if not, put your stanchions in. I've been here for, I'm 73, I've been here for 65 years. I've never heard of a problem there. Lots of people go there, they have fun. They have that Saturday night cruising. People love going there, and you know, to stop all of this, it's just somebody killing one more thing that's a nice function for people to attend. Pretty soon you won't have anything. I'm fine with it, the way he's requesting it.
My only question is that area you're blocking off for entertainment purposes, is there gonna be any outdoor entertainment, like a band or anything? Because the rehab place is right next door.
right, and we have had bands out there in the past, and we've had DJs out there in the past, and we've never got a problem, and we only go till dusk. Okay, as soon as it gets dark, we're over. We're not at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. We're at, you know, basically during the day, you know, Tarantino Car Show was out in that field, probably one of the biggest events that ever came into this town, and we had buku people and a DJ out there, and it was all over at dusk. Everything.
Yep. And there's a lot of coverage with the trees and that out in the field on the edge of the pond and everything, and so we go by all the time, and I've never heard anything offensive, and we go by on Friday night when they have the cruising, and it's just,
Just to the chair, I don't have any issue with this either. I don't want to sound like I am, but I do want to just pass along the comment that square area looking to have is outdoor entertainment. If you're extending the liquor license to that area and you do have vehicles parked in there, from what I understand, you could have the liquor license pulled, and it would be your risk to do that, but I just want to put that out there as why it was recommended to have some kind of more permanent barrier around there, so you don't have that risk of losing the liquor license. That was the one comment. Otherwise, I don't have any.
And that's ABCC, that's not us. That's
Right.
not,
So that's not something that this board would regulate, but that was a concern expressed by some people in the DCG group you saw a couple weeks ago.
What's considered permanent barrier? Something that goes through into the ground, or?
Yeah,
I don't know, what if you had, instead of just putting those stanchions flat on the ground, if you had like pipe holes in the ground, which are small, they're not gonna, nobody can trip in them or anything, and you stick the pipes into them, is that something that's more permanent, and they would consider that permanent? Because they set down into the existing pipe in the ground by, I don't know, a foot or 8 inches?
yeah, I think from my
I don't
understanding, it's
know.
more the risk if you have a vehicle parking there and somebody from the ABCC comes, they see a vehicle in a section that's designated as a drinking section, then that could be a violation. I don't know all the details of what the requirements are, it's just, I don't want to,
Have they mandated this or said anything that they
no, it's just,
haven't?
from what I understand,
It
that
makes
could
sense,
happen.
though,
I
yeah.
don't, I just want to put it out there for the Elks to be aware of. I don't think this.
We're fine with
What's
you.
that is just some.
We're on your,
just more of a
we're
concern you
fine
should
with
have.
you, but we don't want you to do something that will be adverse to them and then be a problem for you.
Well, if you're gonna-
And nor do we want to either, you
If you're
know?
gonna be milling that anyway, to put an insert, if that's acceptable,
If the-
would be
yeah.
the time to do
It's
it.
a, we don't know the
What
answer,
do you
but it's
mean
a
by
question worth
insert,
asking.
Steve?
Like you said.
Oh,
To drop in, yeah.
I mean, maybe
If
that's
that's-
something you
if
can look
that's-
at, but
And
it's
I don't
just-
know what's acceptable.
But couldn't they
Yeah.
pull a special permit?
Sure.
Have that
For
function
events, for event,
event?
absolutely.
You wouldn't have to worry about that?
where would they
We're
go
all pining
before
on,
for
we don't-
this, where would they go for the
Maybe they had to
special?
go through the state for that. I'm not sure. What permits in the town?
Yeah,
I know in the town you have to get a permit,
For,
outdoor liquor.
right, if you're a licensed establishment, you can't pull a one-day permit for an outdoor event.
Oh, you
Okay.
can't. Okay.
So it's kind of tricky. What happens is,
You have to include.
your area, yeah, you have a licensed area, and it's even where you walk your booths through. Like, say your cooler was in the basement, you have to license that basement right up through where you're traveling with your booths, where it's available for inspection. It's a layout that has been approved by the ABCC and the local licensing authority. It's a very odd,
Who's the local license? Us, you mean, the town? Who would that be, though?
the Board of Selectmen.
So, could they extend their license to this area?
Certainly.
But then it has,
Certainly,
That
but
would
it's,
suck.
Then
it
needs
can't
to
really
permit.
be dual purpose. That's the concern. That's the primary concern, is that you can't have vehicles parked in an area where you can
Yeah,
serve booze.
I don't think this board necessarily has to tell them to put up the
No.
permanent fencing. That's not, I don't think that's the intent. It's just, it would be at your risk if something like that does happen. You had your vehicles while they're inspecting, and it could be a liability for you. That was my whole point of
Correct,
laying
yeah.
those concerns.
It's recommended,
That, yeah,
that's all.
Free legal advice.
I think the fence with the poles on the ground, they come out, you park on it afterwards, you put them right up again.
You know what I mean by those?
Yep,
You know, when you
yep,
send them in?
yep.
Maybe they can, but you'd have to see if they
Yeah.
consider that.
I think
You don't want
need
to go doing it and then they'll say, oh, we don't consider
I
that.
had already called the ABC and these stanchions that we had were fine. The ABC had already told me that.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay, but then again,
I would get that in writing.
okay, well, I'm sure after you approve it and the Board of Selectmen approve it, I'm gonna have a meeting with the ABCC because they're the ones that are gonna approve it after it's been approved by
Okay.
everything there. So, I mean, it's a, you know,
You're way beyond our concerns. You have it covered.
well, I mean, I've already made the phone calls down there before we even got into this for the simple fact that I wanted to be, either go forward with this because, I mean, we're talking a lot of money. I mean, 200,000 to pave it and even the engineering drawings are not
Cheap.
cheap, so.
through the chair, so once you license that, that is always open, right? You can't off and on.
You don't have to keep it open. Like, you know, a lot of places will have like an outdoor patio.
Okay,
That's still a licensed area, even if it's not in use at the moment. It doesn't have to be open for the use. Like in New England with snow on the ground, you're
so
not
they can
gonna
still
have it.
park there even though it's a licensed area as long as it's not at the same time.
It has to be open for inspection. I'm not sure. I don't know how they would react
Okay.
to
Yeah.
that. That's an ABCC question. That's not, or a local
Concern, yeah.
licensing authority question. It's,
So as
We are
far
way
as the
beyond our
layout,
authority.
the layout's fine, there's no objections on that. It's the use that becomes the issue, and that's not our
Not our
concern
concern.
at this.
No.
I think we're getting in areas that we don't cover,
We are.
not by a long shot.
I'll need two motions.
Minor
What are
modification.
they?
Minor modification and to accept the modification.
I'll make a motion that this is a minor modification.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to accept the minor modification?
I'll make that motion to accept the minor modification.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It is approved.
Thank you very much.
I'll send you a written decision in a few
Okay.
days.
All right, that's fine. Thank you.
Thanks.
And now, Rachel, will you guide me to the next
yeah,
phase?
I will.
All right.
I'll call you tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much
Good
for your
luck.
time.
Have a good night.
Next up is discussion. Proposed zoning bylaw changes for the spring town meeting, which is this handy dandy paper we have right in front of us. And I'm gonna explain it.
So the proposal is to rezone part of these 4 parcels. The parcels boundaries are in yellow, from industrial park to highway business. It was zoned industrial park from what I can tell back in the 60s and has never been developed as an industrial park. The thought was to change this to extend the highway business to where the purple is inside these yellow boundaries. It's most of the 4 parcels to highway business, to give them some more options, whether it be mixed use or retail or grocery store or something different besides the industrial
There's
park.
already stuff in there, isn't there?
Right here, there are some condos. That's the only part that's developed.
This is heading east on Washington Street, so they'd be on the right-hand side, right?
Yes.
And they kind of go back and then up that slope into the back of Cutting.
Yeah, this was the former Dartmouth site, the big site in front. This piece is Chapter 61 land, and this back piece is town-owned property, and you get the condos over here.
Oh, okay. No, I got it now. Yeah.
I spoke to this owner here. He's okay with the change.
The Dartmouth property.
Yep. I'm going to be contacting the other property
Who owns
owners.
the others?
This is Post, I think.
They may still own some.
That's chapter land, Chapter 61 land. This is the town-owned property. And
Was
these are
that part of the big piece that goes up onto, right up to
to the,
Packagug Street?
yeah,
The massive
It's-
piece
yeah.
around the...
and there's the condos are over here. So I'm going to be contacting all the owners. Mainly it's the condos owners and these people that haven't been contacted yet. Let them know what's going on. What we'd like to do, we have a meeting scheduled for March 16th to invite all the property owners and the abutters. What we'd like to do, hopefully when any concerns they might have. I want to bring this to the planning board's attention because the warrant is now open for town meeting, and the next meeting on the 25th is when I'd like the planning board to sponsor the articles I've been bringing to you the past couple of meetings. Aside from this map change, there are 4, possibly 5 more. There's that table of descriptions. The zoning bylaw review committee just went through all of them last night and made some tweaks to it. There's the duplicate chapters. There's the purpose article, which is just tweaking the opening chapter of the bylaw. And the height regulations, the dimensional regulations.
Yep.
Having it allowed up to 50 feet in certain areas of town with a special permit. Those are the 5 possible. The 6th is I'm working with the animal control officer to address the slightly problematic line in the bylaw about only having 4 animals as a maximum of animals you're allowed.
Kennel permit after that, or?
Kennel permit for dogs, but that also that for animals includes cats, chickens, hamsters, guinea pigs, fish, whatever.
What, so I, with 60 acres, can only have 4 chickens?
Right, yes.
That's BS.
That's why we'd like to change it. So we're working with the animal control and the Board of Health to draft something. Hopefully I'll have it ready for
Yeah.
this town meeting. If not, it will be the fall. But
So we're gonna change it,
Yeah.
so that it's
Within
not
reason.
restrictive.
right, not as restrictive.
Within reason, there's been issues in
Yes.
Oxford as well. And
With
Well,
the
people,
dog,
it should be based on, too, the section, the residential section you're in.
Residential.
RA,
Square
B,
footage.
C, and RR.
I think.
Could you state your land is all agricultural?
Yeah, it's, state law overrides the town law in that case. And if you have more than 5 acres, you can basically have whatever you want.
Pretty much.
So you would know.
So we're meeting with the animal control officer and the Board of Health Thursday. We're going to work on that. The idea is, and this is not final by any means, is depending on how big your parcel is, will determine how many chickens or other animals you can have.
That's fair.
If you have an acre, you could have say 12 chickens, just throwing it out there, that's not a set number by any means.
Sure.
If you have half an acre or even a quarter of an acre, you could have 6 maybe. But that's kind of the intent.
I'll be looking
It's
at
still, yeah, it's still in, very
Before
much
you
under
even
discussion.
get it to the review.
It's very much under discussion, so.
What's the limit now?
Hmm?
What's the limit now?
4.
No matter what size your lot is.
Where is that though? I never,
Accessory uses. Up there.
It's in the fucking quick.
I knew you were gonna ask me this. Can find it.
Is it animals or pets?
I believe it says animals.
Can't call them pets anymore. Haven't you heard the latest?
I don't know what the definition of animal is
It
either.
has to be called companion, so it's all inclusive.
what?
It has to be called companion, so it's all inclusive. That's what Peter said.
Who said?
Peter.
The hell's Peter?
People eating tasty animals.
Keeping and raising of dogs, cats, or pets, the breeding and sale of dogs, cats, or other pets provided not more than 4 such animals within 1 year old shall be permitted. All such animals shall be kept in a manner which will not create public nuisance. Safety and welfare.
Let me see.
3.9.1.4. It does say pets, but it doesn't specify domesticated, which may or may not fit into that category. So currently, we've been a kind of a blanket max for things. So I know that's going to be possibly a controversial one. So
Service animals, and what do they count as? Because you can't count as pets either.
PEAS actually stands for People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's what it really stands for.
Give him a book back.
So stay tuned for that particular one. But so I can send the drafts I have back out to the board. So I'd like this board to consider sponsoring the articles and sending them to the Board of Selectmen the next meeting. We then go through the usual due process of,
On that, what we just talked about, the limitation of animals and stuff,
yeah,
when are you gonna have that done? When you sit down?
hopefully next week. We'll have a good draft.
Can you call me?
Yeah.
So I can come and look at it?
Yep. There'll be a public hearing on whether the board wants to recommend approval sometime in April. We've got a public meeting scheduled for March 30th to open to town meeting members. Anyone from the public that wants to come to talk about these zoning articles. Is going to be a lot of public outreach. And we're probably going to have the usual public meeting a week before the town meeting to again, try to answer any questions that may come. There was a meeting last week, a lot of meetings. For town meeting members, there were 6 or 7 town meeting members that were going to have to come to talk about some of these zoning changes, and there really wasn't any pushback or anything, just they expressed some opinions and we took those into account and want to make sure everybody's well informed because there are some big changes. Yeah, that's all I got. If you have questions, let me know.
And they'll be in the packet so we can review all that.
Yeah. I'll try to send those out earlier,
Okay.
at least by email.
All set.
I'm all set.
Meeting minutes for 1/28/2020. I made a few corrections, so if there's a vote to approve, it has to be as amended, or a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
A
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's a vote. I don't have any unforeseen business. And any update from you, Adam, other than what you just went through?
Nope.
We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Give you 1 second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.